All right, guys, just got done speaking. Next up here is Braddock from Love Systems. I met him back in February, late February of 2008. I went to Vegas to meet him at the Love Systems Super Conference. It was a really cool event. Great stuff. I heard him speak, and I heard how old he was. He's kind of young. Plus, he's 25 now, I believe.
Yeah.
He's been in the community for a while, like working at it. He's come a long way. When I heard him speak, I was like, you know what? I need this guy by the event. Like, this guy's doing an awesome job. He's into it. He's all about the 21 thing. Like, it's a great guy to come have. I saw him out a little bit at Hard Rock Casino too, and I saw him on field. He's just like awesome, stellar stuff. So without further ado, here's Braddock from Love Systems. Thanks for coming, man.
Awesome, man.
Cool.
All right, guys. I put together my notes basically on a college game. Anybody in college? Or about to start college? Good. Hopefully this will save you 2 or 3 years of heartache. This is, man, I wish I was somebody who gave me these notes about you guys when I started college. It would have been sick. My story, in high school, I went to a really small town in Oklahoma, and I was kind of the cool kid, so I thought that that little fishbowl, I thought that'd carry over everywhere I went, and it was a rude awakening when I got to college, and then I wasn't that guy anymore. And yeah, so the first year of college was a nightmare. I mean, basically,
Just stripped a little bit, start from the there you go.
Basically, my first year of college was a nightmare. It was like, I didn't talk to any girls I didn't know from high school already and weren't up any there. My brother played football at OU, so I basically just puppy dogged him around trying to meet girls. And the only girls I'd meet wanted to meet my brother. I was like, fuck, what is going on? Well, there's a couple of things that I was like, I'm going to break this down and to figure this out. And it came down to, by the time I mapped it out, oh my God, I dated so many girls in college by the end of the 4 years, it was ridiculous. It took me a while. It took me about 2 years to build this thing the way I'm going to give it to you guys, but a lot of it was because of trial and error. And if you'll follow this process pretty tight ship, it'll explode. So let's see. Some of the terms I'm going to give you came from the book. They're from my social circle seminar, which me and Mr. M, one of the other Love Systems instructor, we came up with a lot of this stuff. So you may have heard some of these terms before, but I'm using that name, but I've tailored it into game. So a lot of these come from the book Tipping Point. Have I heard of that from Malcolm Gladwell? The first one is a social connector. Write that down. A social connector. Anybody have a guy friend that everywhere you go he seems to fucking know everybody? You're like, God, how does he do that? Well, the more of those people you can get in your life, the faster, the easier your life is, because that'll help you build a massive, massive social circle. What I want you guys to think about in college game, you guys that aren't in college, this applies to. This is very similar to my social circle in general. You don't want to be in a small fishbowl like college, running around, shooting out routines, peacocking, saying a bunch of weird shit, and get pigeonholed as that guy. Because if you do, you're going to burn down. The only girls you will get won't be the ones that you want. All this is tailored to get the hottest of the hot girls on your campus, not to get the 6s and 7s. This is to get 10s. Okay? So you've got to get your mindset switched. We're getting away at college. You're not going to run around running routines and cold approaching. I'm not saying there's not a component of cold approach still used, but that's not what this is, okay? Social connectors. You want to start looking for these guys and girls, and adding them as quickly as you can, or just knowing them. You can make loose affiliations with them. You don't have to be best friends with them. You know, it exponentially increases the people you know. The next term is a value connector. A value connector is not necessarily like with a social connector, just knowing them. A social connector's currency is people. They meet people and introduce people all the time. That's all they do. They're not necessarily always high value in and of themselves, though. A value connector is someone that is a DHV by their mere presence. So, like in college, if you're close to the football players or any of the athletes, if you can get close to the highest ranking frat boys, really hot girls, or pre-selected guys that are good looking, that are good with girls, the cool kids, basically. A lot of this stuff is annoying as shit, and I hate it, but it is what it is. You can either bitch about this stuff, or you can learn to play the game, right? Value connectors, but they're a DHV just by being associated with them. The next term, gatekeeper. A gatekeeper is someone that has a high situational value. So a girl that let's say an ugly girl that's friends with that really hot girl you want to get to know, she may not be a value connector by knowing her, and she may not be able to introduce you to a lot of girls, but meeting her could be the bridge to the really hot girl down the road. In college, in my social circle seminar, in true cold approach out of college, gatekeepers are a little different. I'll befriend a bunch of girls and slow burn them and get in with them. That way that I can slowly infiltrate like the hottest girls groups without trying to cold approach it. It's one shot, hit or miss. If you can infiltrate through a gatekeeper, you can slowly get in there and not have to just roll it, not flip a coin, right? The key thing you need to write down with the gatekeeper, you guys are I'm gonna fly through this because I have about an hour, but I want to give you some of the most important stuff. With a gatekeeper, one of the things you need to write down is disqualify yourself hard. Disqualify yourself hard as somebody that doesn't want to date her. So what I'll usually say to a girl that's a gatekeeper, I'll be like, wow, you were fucking amazing. I'll be like, you remind me of my best friend from high school. You remind me of my best friend Sarah from high school. Or I'll say, wow, you know what? You were awesome. I've got to hook you up with my friend Mike. You would love him. And Mike doesn't even exist, right? But by me doing that, I'm bringing her a value that instead of just trying to extract something from her and trying to get something from her, and also because I don't want her to become attracted to me. So you need to disqualify yourself. That way when you go for hot friends later, she'll hand them to you on a silver platter. She'll talk you up. But if you try to game her, she'll become attracted to you, and then she'll either block off her friends, or when you do make the switch, you'll piss her off. The next term is social dead ends. Social dead ends are any guys that you know right now that have just read the game, that are now on your college campus running around peacocks and running 55 routines on campus. That is a social dead end. A social dead end is someone that kills just by mere association, his presence. They thin slice you together. They think, okay, if they must be a package deal. He must be like this guy. His mere presence kills your value. If you have a bunch of social dead ends, other social dead ends are like the really maybe a high value guy, but that like puts you down all the time or just destroys your value, right? So even though he in and of himself is high value, when you're around him, he puts you down so much that he crushes you, right? Let's see. Other problems with like a social dead is the kid that's just really miscalibrated. So you're trying to network, you're trying to work your way in. You're in some frat guy that you don't necessarily like, but he has really good parties. You're at his house, and you're trying to make that connection happen. And this kid's trying to out-alpha this guy, and he's trying to, like, I would say, don't outshine the master, right? So if you're in some frat guy's house and you want to get to know him, you don't want to be sitting there trying to hold court and take over the room, right? A lot of this stuff you read on boards is great, but you've got to learn to know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. So you're in a room with a guy, you're trying to make a connection, don't outshine the master. You're not trying to impress him, you're trying to get access to his house so that you can get all the girls there, right? Who gives a fuck about impressing this guy? Let him feel like he's the shit. Does that make sense? If you've got a friend blasting that guy, though, it's ruining it. Okay. Another term is thin slicing. This comes from Malcolm Gladwell again. It's from Blink. And basically, it's rapid cognition. It means it's basically like making a snapshot judgment about people, right? Everybody does this, but it's like if you saw me walk in with an Uzi and a machete, you probably don't think I'm speaking next, right? but that's a thin slice. I might be speaking next. Does that make sense? If you see a guy in a three-piece business suit, then that guy's probably a business guy. That's a thin slice. It's a snapshot judgment. What happens if you walk into a party and you have 5 cute girls with you and 3 pre-selected cool guys? What's your thin slice? He must be one of the cool kids. What if you walk in with 5 dorks who are peacocked out like mystery, and you're at a college party, you look like an idiot? What's your thin slice? That you're an idiot. What happens if you dress like a kid that lived on a farm and wears clothes 2 years behind schedule? It's not that they don't like you or people will be mean to you, they thin slice you. So especially in a small fishbowl like college, you just get categorized. That's an ugly side of life, but it is what it is, right? So I'm not saying you gotta dress like everybody else or be like everybody else. I'm just saying that people just realize that people are thin slicing you and you get categorized like that. The next term, getting sticky, the sticky phase. In social circle game, okay, like the reason we have all these DHV stories and all these ways to demonstrate value when we do cold approach, like when I teach my normal boot camp, is because when I walk up to a girl and I'm cold approaching, I have 30 seconds to make some kind of impression, which will buy me a minute, which will buy me 2 minutes, which will buy me 5, which will buy me 10, which will buy me 30, right? In that 30 minutes, I need to show her I'm all these things, because it may be the one shot I've got. But in social circle, if you're going around trying to thread DHVs and all these stories, like in cold approach, I'm trying to jam value down her fucking throat. So I have 30 minutes, I need her to know everything, right? So we develop all these routines and all these ways to thread stories and to tell interesting stories. In social circle game, you don't need to do that. You need to become the DHV, right? You need to surround yourself. You need to become a badass thin slice. Does that make sense? Instead of running around trying to talk about how cool you are, you need to just be cool. So that other people are telling people how cool you are. You don't have a thin slice. You're going to get multiple encounters with this girl. So why would you try to blow your load in one hit, right? Let the buzz get created about you. So getting sticky, it's an old advertising term that says, for you to recognize Tylenol, you need to see and hear through some medium, whether it be advertising, on the radio or on TV or on a billboard. You need to see Tylenol 6 times before you finally go, headache? Oh, Tylenol. You need some. You got a headache? Here's some Tylenol. Does that make sense? Before you're sticky. Well, I just take that with social circle as well. Like, realize that when you first meet somebody, the sticky phase could be 1 encounter, it could be 50. A really high value girl that knows everybody and has a million friends. You may not know her until your third year of college, and you may have met her 20 times and she still doesn't know who the fuck you are. That's okay. Like, I'll get to the model here in a minute, but basically, I'm not gonna try to game her until I am sticky. Does that make sense? If she doesn't recognize me, and I'm trying to like come in hot and trying to go sexual and make a bunch of jokes or try to push the attraction too far, and I'm not even on her radar yet, it's a mistake. It's a mistake I learned the hard way in college a lot, right? So essentially, you want to get sticky before you try to make your move. Understand in college, understand situational value. Understand situational value and respect it at all times. But the good thing is, okay, like, I don't know if you guys have read a lot of stuff on the boards or a lot of the old writings and stuff, a lot of AMOG wars and stupid shit like that. That doesn't really apply in college as much. It does in a sense, but not the same way. In cold approach, we will never see that girl again, so I gotta bring the heat. Make sense? And I'm gonna push all in. I'm gonna go try to blow that dude out. If I do, it works. If it doesn't, no big deal. I'll start over on the next girl, right? Because I probably won't see her again. That would be a giant mistake, though, in social circle game or in college game, because if you go all in and lose, you do have to see her again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and the guy that fucking destroyed you, right? And he pole vaults his value, and yours goes whoop. So live to fight another day. Live to fight another day. So basically, understand situational value. Understand when you have it, understand when you don't. When you don't have it, I'm not saying you turn into a meek pussy. I'm just saying maybe you fade back a little bit that night and wait for a better time and strike when the iron's hot. I'm being really outside the box here, but is your mind going, okay, I think I know what he means, right? If there's 3 football players in the room and there's that one girl I want and she showed interest last week and the 3 football players showed up, I'm not saying I'm going to run from her. I'm just saying I'm not going to try to outshine these dudes because you're going to look really try hard. Right? You're going to look really reactive to them, and you're going to look really goofy. Make sense? So that just because they're in the room this time, well, we know that girls are very emotional, and their emotions change from second to second. Fine. He wins the battle, but I'm going to win the war. Does it make sense? Let him win the battle. Not necessarily retreat, but just kind of chill, go chill for a while, and then when they're gone, or the next day, or the next week, or the next month, when the iron is hot, when I have a great time, I'm going to strike them. Does it make sense? Let's see. In college, or in social circle in general, build your army before you attack, right? Spend the first 6 months of college, even longer, I'd never turn it off. I'm gonna go out and amass a fucking army. I want everybody on this campus to know my name. Everybody. I knew, everywhere we went, my roommates would be like, God, you're fucking annoying. I had to stop and talk about everybody everywhere we went. Because I wanted to do that because that way, anywhere we wanted to go, I knew somebody there. I didn't know one person, there were 3 people that gave us in the frat party. I didn't have to lean on one person. I had to lean on anybody. And if that guy walked up with 5 girls, I didn't try to game those girls. I said, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Dot, 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 dot. Who are your friends? Make sense? Instead of me trying to game 5 girls with a dude on campus and run around being that sniper, right? I just moved to the Navy SEAL team everywhere I went, right? Okay, things like this. Cold approach versus my long-term college game strategy is, let's look at it like a sales analogy. Anybody done cold calling sales or door-to-door sales? It's a fucking nightmare, isn't it? Right? The problem with door-to-door sales, even if you have the best product in the world, the customer doesn't really want to talk to you, right? The girl doesn't want to talk to you in cold approach. She doesn't know who the fuck you are. So you knock on this door, they're already doing something, they don't know who you are, they don't know what your product is, they don't want to know, so you have major value limitations. Just the mere act of knocking on that door says, I want something. I want something, hi, I need something from you. Does that make sense? That's cold approach. We have a bunch of strategies, disqualification, and other things that help us remedy that, but it's to remedy that. It's not, it sucks because if you have a really good social circle attraction, it can never be equalized through cold approach. Yeah, you can say, well, this one time, well, I've slept with, I don't care. I'm telling you, like, you give me a social circle setting and let me be in there long enough and let me hit all the attraction switches on a girl over months and months and months and just keep hitting on her, you can make girls fall in love with you just by hitting attraction switches without ever just saying one DHG story. It's all visual. She gets to see it all. Does that make sense? So cold approach is like door-to-door sales. My long-term strategy is like mass marketing to select demographics and then letting them come to the store. If they come, they really want to buy something. Half of your work's done. That makes sense? And the ones I didn't get to come to my store, I need to market more. I'm just going to keep marketing on them until they come to the store. If you think of it in those terms, how much is it easier to sell something when they come to your store with carrying your flyer in, or to walk the product to their house and go, hi, I've got the best product ever. Hi, can I have some of your time? Hi. Right? Do y'all see where I'm getting at with this? So basically, here's how it looks. First, you go out and you market first. You build a brand. I build a Braddock brand. Here's who I am. Then, once they come to your store, you make the product scarce. Now here's where the old school disqualification and teasing and playfulness comes, right? First, I got to go get you to know who I am. Now you want me? Now I'm too cool for school. Not literally. I'm being pretty general here, right? I'm trying to give you a big picture. Now I'm too cool for you, so now I'm scarce. Now I'm a scarce resource. Now you really want me, right? Then sell to the highest bidders. Then sell to the highest bidders being what? The hottest girls, right? Which I'm going to get to my waterfall principle here in a minute. You sleep with the girls or date the girls, the hottest down, not up. The waterfalls don't run uphill, they run downhill, right? If you get the hottest girls, it unlocks all the ones below it. And some guy will be on the boards going, well, Braddock said, I know my friend, he can do anything. He'll do ugly girls and work his way up. I don't care, okay? Don't email me that, don't ask me, I don't care. Okay? I'm telling you, these are generalities. Yes, all these rules are meant to be broken, it can be. So once you make the product scarce, then sell the highest bidders, the hottest girls, and then sell the hidden overstock to the 8s and below under a different brand name. So you sell the hidden overstock under a different brand name to the 8s and below. Does this make sense? So you know how like when you buy like cheesy chips or whatever the fuck they're called? I don't even know. They're Doritos essentially. That's just the $1 bag of chips is just the overstock of Doritos, and Doritos sells there for $3. Does that make sense? Now, because guys are like, well, I'm never going to get laid doing your strategy. I'm never going to get girls. Well, you will, because you're going to be scarce resource to the hot girls, and that's a long-term strategy to get them. You're going to let go of the brow string and grab the gold, and then right. But then with the 8s and below, sell your overstock. You can get gaming, you can run routines, be a dumbass. All right, go for broke. Bring the heat. Okay, my 2 long-term strategies for college gaming. One, I did this for about 6 months, ended up getting out because I just didn't want to spend the money. It was okay, I didn't really like the guys, but it was all right. I hate to admit it, join a frat. If you can't beat them, join them. Get frat-tastic. They hand you all of this on a silver platter. It's done. My whole seminar is done just by signing the paperwork. It's a pain in the ass. You get to have to do a bunch of it. You'll meet a ton of really cool guys, and you'll meet a bunch of dipshits, right? But it's worth it. It's totally worth it, right? If you can't beat them, join them. You run the gauntlet of bullshit for a few months, for 4 years of an amazing social life. I mean, they're going to hand you like, they would be like, okay, today you're studying with the thetas. Tomorrow you're building a float with the tridents. Tomorrow it was just insane. You just be locked in a room with 30 hot girls. If you're good at game, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, right? But otherwise, see, what I love about that is otherwise you would never meet all those 30 tridents. You'd have to go meet each one of them individually. You have to meet every one of them individually, or you'd have to work gatekeeper game, or you'd have to meet connectors. You'd have to to build connections with all those people. It's exhaustive process. I did it. It takes fucking 2 years, 3 years, right? It's worth it. Either one's fine. Younger sorority girls will date you just merely on affiliation. Oh, you're a Lambda Chi? They'll perk up and you're like, oh, fuck. It's retarded, but it is what it is, right? Oh, he's this? Oh, he's that? College is like a mini Hollywood, or it's like a who's who, right? Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Oh, he's a football player. Oh, they're either cleat chasers or you know, oh, I get to date a cool Lambikai, or I get to date a cool Fiji, or I get to date a cool whatever, right? Use that to your advantage. Why fight that, right? It's like guys go, I don't want girls to like me because I'm a dentist. I'm like, fucking stupid. Like, that's free. That's free 2 points if we need to get 10. You got 2 walking in. What are you talking about, right? So same thing with that. I mean, if an 18, 19-year-old girl wants to like you because you're in a frat, okay, fine with me, right? It's better than me having to like, you want to like her because of that or some stupid DHP story you told me. Either one of them are just as stupid, right? Okay, let's see. Being in a really one of the better frat houses in a college situation is the highest situational value you can garner besides football player, right? It's the highest situational value you're able to garner without being an athlete. So, let's see. Some of the problems with the frat thing though is a couple things to avoid if you do join a frat. A lot of guys were dorky in high school and they join a frat and they feel accepted. So like have this undying dork allegiance to this frat and it's gay. That's like we used to be like, oh my God, I think he literally beats off to the frat house. Right? And it reeks of like insecurity and weakness to the girls as well. They're just like, wow, he's desperately pleading. Like, my brothers, I love my brothers. I do anything for my brothers. And you're just like, I was like, dude, the reason I got out, I was like, dude, I got him just to drink beer and meet girls and to make a few cool guy friends to go play intramural basketball with. What the fuck? Like, you don't love your house, you were late for the house clean. You're just like, what the who gives a shit, right? But then again, you meet some of the best friends. Some of my best friends I still have are from the frat house. Let's see. If you're in the frat house politics, don't chase members who are, don't chase like the cool members. Because they'll crush you, they'll be assholes to you, because it's just like chasing it. Think of the coolest guys you meet in a frat, or just in general. Think of them like a hot girl. If you chase too hard, they smell an agenda and they push you away, right? So you want to be cool with them and slowly, you want to like, think about approaching the really cool guys like you'd approach like a pissed off dog, right? That you don't know if he'll bite you. So you just would gradually get to know him and gradually work your way in. Don't try to force an encounter with him too fast, right? Make them come to you without self-communicating disrespect or aggression. Let's see, the volatile asshole frat boy. Usually there's like one guy that like, he never was cool in high school and never was like a leader, never got to be the guy in charge, but since he signed that paperwork, as soon as he gets his pledge badge and he's a sophomore now, he has officially got he's got 60 dudes he can boss around and talk shit to. He's never had that and he abuses it, right? Do not align with this asshole. He also tries to get an army of like pussy guys to follow him, and he never has any friends until the next pledge class comes in, right? Tell this guy what he wants to hear, and just stay the fuck away from him. He has no value at all in the house, other than if he's your enemy, he can be a real pain in the ass, right? Bounce around a lot. Don't just get in one niche, because you're nervous and you're meeting a bunch of new guys. You'll find like one little niche or one room of guys that are cool, and you'll just like lock onto them. Make yourself become friends with everybody in the house. Spend a little bit of time with everybody. If you can make yourself do that, you'll have like so much going. You'll have, by the time you're a junior, you'll have people calling you all the time and you're like, I had to turn my phone off to study. Because you'll have a bunch of different niches to hang out with. And that way, if you ever have a problem with one of the, like let's say this one goes bad, you've got a whole host of options. You're not locked into this one little group with like another microcosm of like, oh shit, this is the only 5 guys I've known for 4 years and now one of them's pissed off at me, oh shit, right? Let's see. When you do find, like, if you do get with the cool guys, if they do extend you an invite, think of like a freshman. I always think of like a football locker room. Like, let the seniors come to you, show them respect without kissing their ass, and when they find like, hey freshmen, you want to go to lunch with us? Go, right? But while you're there, don't lean on them, don't be a leech, don't puppy dog them, don't kiss their ass, but don't be disrespectful, and don't try to be center of attention. Just be cool. Just lay back. Guys to avoid in the frat. We already talked about that. The guy that's on you, younger guys, yeah. If you have an asshole in your pledge class, or this one applies to social circle game in general. If you have an asshole like in your pledge class, or like of your value or below, or like even if you're just talking about a social circle situation where you've got like the AMOG or whatever you call it, right? Here's the best way to deal with that fucker. The problem is a lot of times that guy is the highest value guy in the group. So when you have that guy in the group, you can't do like, I'm gonna keep my frame. I'm gonna show him I'm unreactive, and I'm gonna to tell him, I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to tell him to back off, man, or whatever tactic is written on the boards, right? It doesn't work, does it? When you try that shit, they turn the jokes on harder and crush you deeper into the ground, don't they? I've been that guy too, right? I've been both guys. So what I learned was, I call it the pendulum theory, or I call it the hostile takeover. The hostile takeover. So if you got this guy, ideally you want to align with everybody. I don't want to make enemies, ever, but I damn sure don't want to, if you try to, okay, there's two things with that, the asshole guy. Like, usually he has really high value, so people they don't necessarily always like him, but they fear him. What I wrote here is people respond to value, whether it be anyone of higher value or people that can threaten your value, right? You respond emotionally to that, don't you? So he may not even be liked, but he might be feared. And they're scared that he'll turn that shit on them. So like when he's making fun of you, even though they don't think it's funny, they'll laugh, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, at you to keep his acceptance. Does that make sense? And so when you try to blast him, they're going to look and see where the value is, and they're going to laugh at that. They're going to go with the value, always. It's not about loyalty, it's about value. It sucks, but it is what it is, right? So instead of trying to combat him or trying to be a dick to him, guys will think, well, I'm going to do Dale Carnegie, win friends and influence people. I'm going to try to become his best friend right away. He just crushes you more for that too, doesn't he? Then he owns you because you're his bitch. So now he knows you want his acceptance, so he'll turn on the approval and turn it off whenever it fits his needs. So the hostile takeover, basically what you do is this. Be polite but not nice. Be polite but not nice. Don't ask him report questions. When he's around, hey, how's it going, man? And then leave him the fuck alone. And then what I do is I get the fuck away from him. When he's in the room, I'm not. Not instantly, I don't jump up and run, but at a nice normal situation, I get up and I leave. When he's in the room, I'm not. That's why I call it the pendulum. He's around, I'm not. Then garner build strong alliances, not alliances, build value with every individual in that group when he's not around. And don't try to impress the group. I will literally cultivate a strong relationship with you and you and you and you and you and you, individually, right? So as he tries to do that, my value is starting to go up and up and up, and he doesn't even know why. He has no fucking clue. And then his jokes don't resonate as much anymore. They're not as funny. And then when he tries to pull that shit, it doesn't work as much because they like me. And it's hard to look me in the face and laugh at me if me and you kicked it yesterday and had a really good time. Does that make sense? And then it's the hostile takeover. And then at some point, when he sees that people are responding to you better, he'll extend the olive branch. Take it. But don't take it, don't grab it. Be like, that's cool. Yeah, be nice to him. Don't act impressed. Don't be glad that he's finally come around. Just be like, that's cool. Yeah, let's hang out. Let's do that. Polite but not nice, right? But do take the olive branch, because then otherwise he'll take it as a sign of aggression. Okay, the other long-term strategy, my favorite, GDI. What's GDI stand for? Goddamn independent, right? Non-frat affiliated. When I was in college, it was when we were invading Afghanistan. So my 5 friends, since we're in a frat, we called ourselves the Northern Alliance, the Rebel Army, right? We were terrorists, or let's see here, Viva la Resistance. Because we'd love it how once we had this set up, we would go to the frat parties and take out the hottest girls, and these guys were like, oh, they're not even in the house. Oh, how are they here? And we'd come in there and just snag the hottest girls and be like, didn't pay shit for that. Have a nice night, right? So basically, with the crucial, here's how if you want to be a GDI, like you've got to get over this like hate of the frats, okay? And you just got to be like, tip your hat to what they have and be like, damn, I wish I had that, but that's okay. But because if you outwardly hate them, that's a sign of what? What's the problem with that? What I say we all respond to emotionally. Value. So we're like, I fucking hate frats. Do you hate them, or you don't like the fact that they fucking own the campus and have all the girls? I hate frats. You only respond emotionally to something of value, right? Or perceived higher value or perceived threat to value. So you wouldn't respond emotionally like that unless you were like, I hate them. So when girls are around, they're like, are you in a frat? You're like, no, fuck those motherfuckers. Fuck them. I'm not a frat. You guys are fuckers. I'm not paying for my friends. Fuck them. Me and my friends are cool, right? When you do that, what are you doing? You're responding emotionally. You're responding to value, right? If someone said, hey, are you playing basketball tomorrow? You would be like, no, fuck basketball. Basketball's for pussies, right? Okay, keys to being a GDI, to being part of...
What about sports?
What about sports what?
Like you were saying earlier that before you got into frats, you were like, well, there's football players, and if they're not an athlete, well, then a frat.
That's the highest ranking. So it goes I'm saying like.
Well, what about like a water polo player? Is that a frat?
I don't think so.
All right.
But it's a nice little piece. But I don't think girls like go to the water polo events and like get shit faced and be like, I hope when you guys fucks me.
You got the speedos. You got the speedos.
Speedos are pretty sick. No, I feel you. Like, no, I mean, if you are part of like a sport team, that's obviously a higher value thing to be, you know. Like, and the fact that it gives. Oftentimes, what I noticed was it gives you alliances, right? Like being on the golf team means you ate lunch in the same cafeteria with all the athletes, so you just got to know them really well, and then you made friends with them, and you go to parties, walk in with football players. Right. The keys to becoming a successful GDI. The problem is, okay, you've got to compensate, since you're not in a frat, by aligning with the biggest power broker GDIs you can find. Aligning with a bunch of nerd GDIs is like being essentially saying, hi, we're 5 guys that couldn't get in a frat at all, and we all hang out because we're nerds. If you can find 5 power broker GDIs, or however many, if you can find a group of power broker GDIs without ever saying it, it looks like those guys could have gotten a frat and chose not to. That's pretty sexy. That's a sexy stereotype, right? But to be like, either we don't like frats, or to be like, we couldn't get in a frat, is 2 very low value places to live, right? Yeah, GD, okay, let's see. Must develop, the persona that looks and feels like you guys are so cool that you didn't need a frat. But not that you don't like them, you just didn't need it. You're so socially it just comes to you so naturally that why would I get in a frat? Without ever saying it verbally. Could have got in, chose not to. Let's see. We talked about this. It's crucial you don't sound bitter or overcompensating, right? To add credibility to this identity, the only way to add credibility to this to make it believable is to be really good friends with all the baller frat guys. So the thing I did is I tried to make really good close friends with all the guys in the top houses. So I'd be seen at their parties, they'd be seen at my house parties, and why aren't you in a frat? I don't know, just never really wanted to be in one. But I was aligned with my 4 roommates were all cool, really good with girls, and they could have all been in any house they want, but they chose not to be. And then when we were good friends with all the top frat guys, it solidified that identity. Does that make sense? It makes it credible. But because you're not in a house, you're going to have to work double time on your networking and finding connectors. You've got to really seek out and put in extra effort every week to find social connectors. And I was literally out like 6 days a week. You got to really bust your ass in class. I tried to get my schedule to where it was always Tuesday, Thursday, and I would have the worst Tuesday, Thursdays ever, right? But then I'd have Friday, Saturday, Sunday open, and I would go out every fucking night. But I made almost straight A's in college as well, but I did it because I just really good time management. I would bust my ass during the day and study during the day and get all my shit done and just go out at night and I'd go to class drunk at 8 a.m. a lot of times, right? But I'd have all my shit done. Let's see. Another thing you have to do is overcompensate by creating an outlet of fun comparable to a mini frat house. Rent a shitty house or a cool house if you got the money that's close to all of the action, right? Find a house that's near like where everybody goes out and make that like Animal House. We had a fucking Basset Hound and an English Bulldog. You need a bunch of novelties, right? People knew Doc Holliday. They're like, oh, Doc Holliday, yeah, the Basset Hound that y'all shaved OU in him, right? We'd have never turned down a good time. We all were like, dude, nobody study at this house. This house is a nightmare, right? So if any girls or guys were like, hey, can we come over and pre-party at your house? Yep, let's do it. Because we knew that was going to network. We wanted to create a buzz of like, this is the house to party at. Those guys, they're those guys. Those guys always have the party. Those are like everywhere. Everybody goes there after the bars. Everybody goes there after the frat party, right? You need to create a house like that that's an atmosphere of fun. Otherwise, if you're just 2 dudes in a boring-ass 2-bedroom apartment, like you got to understand it from a sorority girl's eyes. Like, do I want to go sit at their house and watch TV and drink beer, or go to a crazy fun frat party where I know everybody? See the difference? You're not even getting on a radar because it's like, hey, do you want to come chill with us? Or hey, you want to go bowling? Hey, you want to go to a movie? It's just not the same. It's just not the same, right? Other novelties, we built a beer pong table and made like an OU football field out of it. It was really cool. People always, hey, it was just like, it's the best way to isolate girls too. It was like, hey, let's go play beer pong, right? Let's see. Alliances are crucial in college. We've talked about that. Let's see. What if your social circle is fucked right now? What if you're in one that's just fucked and you're like, dude, I'm low on the totem pole. I like his pendulum thing, but I've got 4 guys like that. Holy shit. What do you do? Anybody?
Change schools.
Maybe. Fuck, maybe. Cut it and get a new one. Fuck all those guys. Start over. College is huge. I'd get all new friends. This time, do it right, though. Start over and do it right this time. Don't try to fight for 4 years in a group of guys that don't like you, or that like you but don't respect you, always make you look like shit, and always make you feel bad and make you look bad in front of girls. Instead of trying to fight that and trying to create a new identity within the group, which is doable but tough, cut them and get new friends. Start over. It's not that hard. All right, the waterfall principle. Here's the way you look at. Here's the way. Remember my sell your what did I say here? Become scarce and sell to the highest bidders, and then sell the overstock. All right, here's how it goes. The waterfall in the I call it like prize trees or prize circles. So let's say the Pi Phis, whatever girls you like, are like the house of really hot girls that are classy, that are like marriage material. You're like, I would like to date those girls. They're fucking all gorgeous and really good girls and smart, whatever, right? Then this, because like, and then like another house is like this group of girls. They're kind of known for being slutty and crazy and like the party girls, right? I'm going to treat both of those groups of girls completely different, right? The these higher class girls I might want to date. I'm gonna run my other game where I become. I want to sell to the highest bidder in that group, right? In the other group, I'm going to just go nuts and try to. The waterfall can go uphill. I'll explain it. So, in your prized venues or in your prize trees of like, oh, these girls are the ones I want. Respect this one. Too much pre-selection can be sleazy in these groups. Too much pre-selection can be sleazy. So it depends on how you go about it. If you get a name for he sleeps around all the time, yeah, that can get you pre-selection, but with like the high self-esteem girls or the a lot of times what happens is kind of groupthink. These girls get picked by this house, and it's like they get pre-framed. It's like when you're a Pi Phi, you're this type of girl. So they all act accordingly, right? They might have been a slut in high school, but they're going to change the whole way they react, everything about them because of the house. Because this girl, this group of girls is like crazy and fun and all partying, and the older girls do it, they act accordingly. They become crazy and slutty and fun and nuts, right? Well, with this group of girls though, what you have to do is you want to get pre-selected, but you want it to look like that guy could have anybody, but is unspokenly picky. Does that make sense? That guy's flirty and playful and knows everybody and flirts with all of us, but he's unspokenly picky. That way when you do finally pick the girl out of this one, like the hottest of the hot girls, she's like, he picked me. He doesn't pick anybody, and he picked me. Does that make sense? It's kind of like the difference between dating a slutty girl or like that girl where in your head you think, because she didn't sleep with me early, she must never do that, right? Same principle, works both ways. Now, be flirty, but don't sleep around. Don't be making out with a bunch of girls when you're around those type of girls, or when one of those girls is at a party you're at or something like that. Don't be seen leaving a party holding hands with somebody with some of the overstock. Make sense? All right. In your weaker trees or the trees with the fun party girls, the girls we're going to sell our overstock to, it's complete opposite. In the sluttier houses, you want the waterfall still applies, but because you do want to work from the hottest down, but the sleaze factor, they actually like the sleaze factor. The more of them you sleep with, the more of them want to sleep with you. It's retarded, right? So in the sleazy houses, it's like you still need to respect the waterfall and go for the hottest girls first and work your way down. But like as to where in this one, if you started sleeping with all the girls, the high self-esteem girls would no longer be attracted and they would cut you off. They'd be like, no, he sleeps around, I don't want a guy like that. As with this one, they're like, well, why didn't he try to sleep with me? Does this make sense? So sleazy pre-selection in your slutty trees, classy pre-selection, I could but I don't in this one. Does that make sense? Okay, buzz. This is a key word. This is like, this is what you need to remember, if anything, from this. Buzz, the definition to me is girls talking about you when you're not around. That's what buzz is. People talking about you when you're not around. This is the ultimate DHV in college. This is the ultimate DHV in social circle game in general. It's just harder in normal life because you're not stuck in one campus. It's hard to get buzz. Buzz creates value and scarcity. Buzz does most of your gaming for you in college, right? What's buzz created by? Situational value. So like I was like the football coach for one of these sorority teams, right? So then when I go to frat parties, I'm like, Coach Nick, hey, 20 girls run up and hug me. Being in a frat, being a football player, anywhere where you have situational value that's not inherent in who you are just by walking in the room, that's what situational value is. Everybody understand that? Okay, good. Pre-selection, yeah, causing attraction. Oh, here's another one that creates buzz. Getting in those situations where you have pre-selection or you have situational value, flirting like crazy, but not acting. Not being like, so you flirt a lot and then you know I'm gonna see them again, so you leave it hanging. You leave it on a high note all the time. So I'd flirt with all the girls, but then not ask them for any of their phone numbers, right? I'm not saying there's something wrong with asking for a number, but I wouldn't like narrow it down to one girl. It was like, God, Coach Nick, Coach Nick, Coach Nick, Coach Nick. They talk about me when I wasn't around. I flirt with all of them, but I don't really act. I'm not gonna act too soon. Does that make sense? Because I wanted the buzz to build like to a tipping point before I finally capitalize on it. Let's see. Once you have buzz, just keep going out a lot and let them come to you. How much buzz you have in each tree will determine your access to the hottest girls, right? So to get the hottest girls in this tree, like over here or over here, either one of them, right? How much buzz I've generated, how much these girls talk about me when I'm not around, will determine my access to the highest echelon of the girls. Does that make sense? Fuck DHV stories. If you can create buzz, you don't need stupid DHV stories trying to brag and tell everybody how cool you are. The more you talk about how cool you are, the less it's believable. Donald Trump doesn't talk about how cool he is. He doesn't need to. People talk for him, right? You can't. This is the difference between cold approach and social circle, right? In cold approach, you kind of have to tell them how cool you are, and you have to find really subtle ways of doing it without looking like you're bragging. Here, you don't even need to even go there. You just be cool. Be seen with, have 4 or 5 friends that are pre-selected by girls, so that girls go, oh, those guys get girls. They like those group of guys. You run with pre-selected guys. You have high situational value, and what I love about it more than anything, when you have buzz, instead of like DHV storing and hitting all the traction switches, the girls will fill in the gaps of who you are with assumed high-value traits. Write that down. Think about that after this. That's so crucial. When you have buzz, girls will fill in the gaps of who you are with assumed high-value traits. So instead of you trying to tell a DHV story, because you have buzz and because you're pre-selected and you run with all these cool guys and all the girls are talking about you, you must be this, this, and this, and this. It's assumed. Does it make sense? He must be a protector of loved ones. He must be all the attraction switches. He must be funny. He must be cool. He must be interesting. He must be smart. They'll just fill it in for you. And then that's why an asshole guy will be like, date the hottest girl, and you're like, how the hell did he get her? He's such a dick. How does she not see it? But he has so much buzz that she fills in the gaps and finds a nice side of him. Her focal points go to all his good things. Make sense? Buzz needs 2 things mainly. Tons of repeatable, high situational value. Tons of repeatable, high situational value. Why would I say that? Because if I'm the Kyle football coach one time, it's nice, but when the football season's over, that's going to dissipate. So I need to find another way. I need to constantly find ways to have situational value or have a different value, right? So if you were just, let's say you didn't have cool, powerful alliances and you didn't get to go to frat parties and you didn't know any frat guys, but you were the Kyle football coach. As long as you capitalized within that short window of 2 months, you might get something done, but after that 2 months, boom, you're going to fall off the radar. They're not going to see you. They're not going to remember you, right? So you need repeatable, high situational value, and then tons of face time and exposure. Tons of face time and exposure. So I get to be the cool football coach, and then I find out where they're all going to be that night, and I just mysteriously happen to be there, right? Then they're like, Coach Nick. But I am chasing them, but they don't know it. Does that make sense? I keep mysteriously popping up where they're at all the time, but I'm not pursuing them. I just get to be the cool guy leaning on my locker like in high school, right? Okay, the actual model of how to get this done. Oh, I'm sorry, let me back up. I skipped a little bit. Yeah, okay. Hot girl game in college. Hot girl game, like these are things to not be ignored if you want to get hot girls consistently. Buzz is crucial, obviously. If you remember nothing else on how to get the really hot girls, buzz is crucial. Always respect the waterfall. Hottest girls first, work your way down. And hey, that sucks because the hottest girls are not the easiest ones to get to, right?
How do you get pre-selection if you go for the hottest?
You get by get the hottest. I don't mean go for the hottest girls, like get them. I mean I'm going to only date and sleep with the hottest girls. I'm going to flirt my way up. I'm glad you brought that up. I might have to flirt my way up from the bottom up to create buzz. Does that make sense? I'm not going to go at the hottest girl flirting necessarily, but I'm only going to act. I'm only going to pull the trigger on really hot girls. Does that make sense? Good question. So Then respect this rule too with all your friends. If one gets in, we all get in. If one gets in, we all get in. A lot of times there'll be a covey of hot girls, right? And what you'll do is one of you does, at a frat party, he meets this girl and it's going really well. Well, so what happens is lame guys or guys that aren't good at this stuff she'll bring her 3 friends over and they swarm them and they run every routine and try to like just knock it out, home run right now. Everybody tries to get it done. If these guys would just back the fuck off, let this guy get in, let him sleep with her, let him date her a little bit, then like early, if these 3 mess it up with those girls, it could end this encounter. They'll pull her away, or she just falls off the radar because like, oh, well, we can't hang out. My friends don't like your friends, or she won't even say that. She'll just fall off the map, right? If you'll respect that, if one gets in, we all get in. What you do is one of us meets a hot girl. Let me take her on dates. Let me get to know her. Let me sleep with her. Let me date her, whatever. Then when she's hooked to me and she really likes me, she will see me as high value, and I'm like, hey, why don't you bring your friends over? Let's all do this. Let's all do that. My friend, then she's like, yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do that. Now I bring her friends over, and my friends they get to be cool. They didn't have to approach. The act of approaching in general is a position of lower value unless it hits. Does that make sense? Anytime you open or you overextend, I'm not saying that if it works, when you do approach, like I almost always go direct now. When it hits, it's a fucking home run. When it misses, you're done, right? That's the problem with it. So instead of us bum rushing our friends, my friends were on the couch watching TV or playing beer pong anyway. Oh, this girl brought 3 friends over? That's cool. They didn't have to approach. It looks more natural. Does that make sense? They didn't do anything. They're not reacting to the girls or trying to chase them. They're just there. If they happen to be cool and like each other, that's cool too, right? Then create a spider web. The way this works is if you want to date or sleep with all the girls in one social circle or a bunch of them, what you want to do is create a spider web. So like so one gets in, we all get in, right? Then I get this girl. She starts bringing a ton of friends over all the time to our house. I want my friends to not act for a while. I want them to get friendly and not friend zone, but I want to be flirty and playful and not just push the envelope so hard that it breaks, to where the girls can't remember what they did on their Fridays before they started hanging out with Nick and his friends. They've hung out so many times with us that's their Friday or whatever day. You see what I'm saying? They can't remember their life before hanging out with me and my friends. So that way, let's say me and my girl end for whatever reason, or I piss her off even. Maybe I just piss her off. She sees me out with some other girl, whatever. If the spider web is set deep enough, these girls, remember me saying people always respond to value. It's kind of an ugly thing in human nature. It is what it is, right? But even over that of alliances. So early on, if these girls just started to come over, they kind of like you guys. If I piss this girl off, they will go with the value, which will be pretended under this alliance of I like her. We don't like you guys because you pissed her off, so fuck you guys, right? If the spider web is set right and they now love Friday at Nick's house so much, they even like it more than their friend. Now when I piss her off, they'll either be like, I hope they get back together, or I hope they start dating again, or they'll be like, well, she needs to get over that because I'm friends with Kevin too, and I'm not going to lose my friendship with Kevin. That's not fair of her to ask of me. Because people align with value at all times. So whatever's the most valuable, that's what they go with. It makes life easier. So they'll backwards rationalize, she needs to get over that if the spider web's deep enough. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, and because of that, so we've got, one gets in, all get in, we've got buzz, we've got the value, then we've got the domino effect, right? The domino effect is like the waterfall, but it's essentially because I got her, all of them will be attracted below that, right? So I get her, then her, then her, and work your way down the list. Does that make sense? Now, doesn't mean you're going to get a list of 5 girls, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in that order. What I'm saying is you get number 1 or 2, then you'll get maybe number 4 or 5. What I'm saying is you're going to work down the list that way. That's a domino effect. The attraction, because you could get the queen bee, the other ones will see you as attractive. Okay. The actual gaming, how this looks, this is what me and Mr. M teach in our social circle seminar. This is our 5 steps for any kind of social circle setting, for any girl you're going to meet. Instead of running a bunch of gaming and thinking, I got to get in with this girl right now. Number 1 is neutral rapport. What is neutral rapport? It's not friend zone, but it's also not hot, not gamey, not pushing the envelope, right? I mean, neutral rapport is just basics. Hey, what's up? Nice to meet you, Sarah. Cool. Lay back, chill. You're not going to ask her 50,000 rapport questions. The neutral rapport phase lasts until I get, a couple things have to happen. I have to get sticky. I'm going to stay in neutral rapport until I'm sticky. So like, you might meet a girl 50 times, and like the first time you meet her, hey, this is my friend Sarah, and she's like, hi. But she's like off in where the Lambda Chi land, right? Where the Lambda Chi's and football players, hi, right? So that's one time. The sticky phase, there is no number of times. It could be one time, it could be 300 times, right? So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep seeing her out. Hey, what's up? You're Jessica's friend, right? Yeah, cool. That's 2. That's it. I'm out. Nothing more than that. See her again, see her again, see her again. Until she goes, Nick. That's when I'm sticky. Hi, Nick. When she remembers my name and runs up and hugs me, then I'm sticky. Until then, I'm neutral rapport, right? During the neutral rapport phase, then the second phase is value and buzz. Value and buzz. So I'm going to stay in neutral rapport until I'm sticky, until I have she sees me in high situational value situations, and until I have buzz. And you won't know that you have buzz because you'll hear people talking about you. You'll know you have buzz because she'll be like, what we call IOIs or whatever, right? She'll start reacting differently to you. You'll feel it. Once you have value and buzz, make yourself scarce. How do you make yourself scarce? You don't act too soon. Guys in social circle settings try to pull the trigger too fast when it's like, dude, you didn't have to go for her number right then, or you didn't have to like go for like, hey, we should hang out sometime that quick, because you're gonna see her again. A lot of times, in college, don't be dogmatic with this, but a lot of times, especially with the hotter girls, I would wait until they were like, we should hang out sometime, until they said it to me. When they said it to me, I'd be like, yeah, you're right, we should, let's kick it. What are you doing this weekend? See the difference? Do you see how it's like, but it's slow burn, man. The whole time I wanted to, and I had to fight my urge to be like, hey, we should hang out sometime. I wanted to say that, but I wouldn't. Because I'm doing this to so many girls, and I've got so many trees and so many wheels spinning, I'm not worried about any one girl, right? I'm not worried about any one girl. It's true abundance game, that whole like cold approach abundance game where guys pretend like they're snipering off supermodels all the time. If you hear that, usually they're full of shit, right? Not saying cold approach isn't awesome. It's changed my life. I'm fucking good at it. And I love it. But there's a time and place for that, and it's not fucking college game. So get that out of your head. Then to make myself scarce, I'm going to start breaking rapport. Because if you try to break rapport when she doesn't know you and doesn't like you, and you try to tease her and be playful like that, it's meaningless. It's as meaningless as a fat girl doing it to you. You're just like, a fat girl's teasing me. It's funny. Right? You just don't care. When you have scarce and you have value and then you tease, he. You ever had like, people laugh at value, right? So that's why your boss could walk in and go, man, it sure is warm in here. And everybody goes, ha 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 ha, sure is, sir, ha ha. But to everybody else, but the other guys, the new guy that's in the mailroom, he says anything. It could be like, he could have a fucking guy running over with a rim shot, and it's still a fucking, a tumbleweed rolls by. Nobody laughs. She has no value. Does it make sense? So when I break rapport now, once I'm scarce resource and I start teasing and being playful, now she's like, that's when you get the jaw drop and the punch in the arm. Do y'all feel that in your head? Or you're like, oh, fuck, okay, now it makes sense. Then the last part, or the next part, 4, is sexualization. Once I get this, then it's when you start making like sexual role plays, teasing more sexual, touching her more, holding hands when you see her a little bit, letting go. Wow, you look really good tonight, or you smell good, or not complimenting. I'm just saying it's more like, I want you kind of, but I want you, but like it's on between us. Not turning into a compliment guy now. Sexualizing, making sexual tension, right? Creating sexual tension where both of you know that you're probably going to make out soon and that you're probably going to have sex, but never verbally saying it, right? Then the last part: isolate, escalate, and close. You all know what that means. So, hey, let's go back to my house and watch a movie. Hey, let's go back to my house and play beer pong. Hey, let's go back to my house and pet Doc Holliday. I shaved no unit. It's funny. You should see it. Okay. As where before, it'd be like pulling fucking teeth out, right? It'd be like, hey, do you want to come over? I'm going to give you $1 million, and Jesus is going to be there, and I have to go. No, we have rush tomorrow, and when you don't have value, when you do have value, they'll fucking, I have a final tomorrow. Fuck it, let's hang out. When you don't have value, they're like, no, I have to, whatever. You get it? Okay. In college, do not peacock. This is just kind of random stuff here. I don't have much time. I'm going to rush through some good stuff. Do not peacock. At the most, when I peacock at all in college, would be like I was going to go to law school. I'd go for like a law school interview, and I'd come to the bar and meet my friends at the bar in a suit from the thing. But there was a reason for it. It wasn't like I wear a suit out randomly on college. I wear a suit on campus like because I'm a dick and I want to stand out because I'm a reactive nerd, right? No, do not do that. But also don't be the dorky kid that, like I said, that lives 2 years behind schedule. You don't have to dress like everybody else, but dress one off. Does that make sense? If you want to stand out a little bit, dress one off. I would dress a little bit flashy, a little bit interesting, just a little bit, right? Just a little bit cooler than everybody else, or a little bit edgier than everybody else. I mean, like it's so small you can barely see it.
Describe that.
Like I'd wear a skinny tie sometimes. Or I would wear, it would look, I just have to show you, I guess, but it's like, without trying to say, I hate the.
Well, generally like peacock, but don't overdo it.
Yeah, generally do not peacock at all and underdo it. The default is like, okay, think of it like this. If I could draw, think of it like this. You've got a hot girl, and like, somewhere in here is a line, right? And there's a bare minimum, in law school, there's like clauses, necessary but not sufficient, right? That means something like, it's necessary to have car keys to drive a car, but it's not sufficient. Does that make sense? So a lot of times, it may be necessary to meet this minimum standard, but not sufficient. Just because you do dress okay doesn't mean you'll get the girl, but dressing overly peacocked or dressing like shit could mean not getting even a fucking chance. Does that make sense? So while I do agree with the Fight Club, Tyler Durden, let go and be yourself and be all that stuff, do it with some calibration. You know what I'm saying? If looking quasi-normal allows me access to tons of hot girls, the fuck? No, it's my identity. At all costs. I read that somewhere. What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? You're missing out on really cool hot girls because you're trying to be something you're not. Instead of just being like, all right, here's my camouflage. Here's my stupid Abercrombie shirt. This is camouflage so I can get in this frat party. Think of it like that if you need to. If that makes you feel better. You don't have to, don't dress so boring that you just fit in, but don't try to peacock like a fucking idiot. They don't think it's cool. You will attract some girls because in your head you're probably, yeah, but I did. You're right, you will get some girls. You will not get the 10s. Does that make sense? You will get some girls. And you'll attract some guys. You'll get a group of guys that do that too. And you'll be those guys. And you'll get those girls, but you won't get these girls. Does that make sense? And maybe you don't want those girls, and maybe this sounds really superficial. That's fine. I'm calling a spade a spade. It is what it is, right? Let's see. Winging in college. This is badass right here. Okay. Winging in college. Now, I'm not talking about at the frat party. I don't have time to explain all that. Let's just assume what happens in college a lot, because everybody has roommates and girls have roommates, it's really easy to get girls to come back. And a lot of times it's to your advantage to get her to bring a friend. So instead of inviting Sarah, like remember my model here, if it was like right in the middle here somewhere, it would take at least that much compliance to get her to come over by herself. It might take all the way up to my hand to get her to come over by myself. It might take this much compliance to get her to come over with a friend. Does that make sense? So instead of being like, hey, do you want to hang out? And with the emphasis being on me and you can be like, why don't y'all come over and play beer pong? Y'all, assuming there's a y'all. It's so much more low key, it takes a lot of pressure off of her, right? So when you do that, here's the thing. Let's say I meet a girl tonight, and she's going to bring her friend back to the house. And I've got 3 roommates. You need to work this out with your boys and make sure they understand it. But a lot of times, take the choice out of it. When you bring, so we've got 3 roommates back home, and I'm bringing home 1 girl. So I've got 2 girls and 3 guys who are going to be fighting for the same piece of meat. What does that look like? Everybody go, fuck, I know exactly what that looks like. A bunch of dumbasses going, hey, no, me, hey, look at me. No, he sucks, I'm cool, he sucks, I'm cool, hey. And the girl's just like, wow, I wonder if they want to sleep with me, right? So what you do is you call ahead and be like, hey Matt, Sarah's bringing a friend over, she thinks you're really cute. You just make the choice for them. And then you need to tell all your boys, they need to get the fuck out of Dodge. When we would bring girls home, because over the course of it, it's all going to come back around for everybody. It's to everybody's advantage. So my other 2 roommates would go to the rooms and get the fuck out of there or leave. They would go away. So it was instantly one-on-one. It was two girls, 2 guys right now, right? Instead of fucking 3 dipshits fighting over 1 girl. Then here's oh, this is awesome. Okay, so then what you do is, I'm with my girl, right? And let's see. I've got my girl here, and then my roommate, and then his girl, right? My girl already likes me, so the worst thing, I don't need to hold court. I'm already DHV'd, I got this solid. I don't need to get tooled either. He can't tool me or make me look bad, but what we really need to do is catch him up. He's got a short window from like 2 to 4 to make this happen, so we gotta catch him up. The worst thing he can do is dive into rapport questions with her. Hey, what's up? Where are you from? What's your name? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Shut down, bored. She's just going to sit there and text. I'm a theta, I'm this, I'm that, blah, 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 blah. Right? Fucking sucks. Or the other worst thing you can do is just dive in and start fucking fireworks on her. It works. I've done both, and that works sometimes. You get laid, but a lot of times she shuts down even deeper, and now you're like, fuck. Anything you say now looks like you're chasing, right? So here's what we do. Say it's me, Matt, 2 girls. My girl already likes me, so anything I say is already funny, right? I have value. I'm going to throw Matt softballs. Crush these, man. He's going to be hitting home runs. I'm just going to be like, Matt, remember when we did this? You remember when that? Hey, dude, something about Doc Holliday. You remember when we shaved fur in him? And let him tell the story. Let him have the fun. Let him be the center of attention without making it obvious. Does that make sense? But if you try to DHV your friend, it looks gay too. So don't take that. Dude, we need to come up with these elaborate DHV stories so we tell them the girls, their pants will drop. Oh my God, they'll be so impressed. No. Just demonstrate fun. Just be like, let Matt show that he's fun. The fact you don't need cool stories. The fact that he's not reacting to this girl and he's having fun is the way to do it. Then here's what we do. Me and Matt tease my girl because my girl will laugh. So me and Matt tease my girl. We get her laughing. Now it's a domino effect. I'm not saying we totally ignore her. We include her when it's okay. I'll include her. Let me include her a little bit. I do it because I'm not trying to sleep with her, so she's not going to have any autopilot responses to me. She'll be natural around me. So I'll ask her the chody, boring questions. This guy, I need to engage her, though, so she doesn't feel completely left out. What you don't do is negate any of your friend's jokes. He's just kidding. He's just kidding. You kill sexual tension when you stop your friend, right? Or you apologize for your friend. I'll calibrate for him, though. If he does over-tease her, I'll calibrate. If he was like, come on, can't you take a joke? I'll be like, come on, Sarah, come on, we're just playing. Have fun. I calibrate to his girl for him. If he over-teases, I calibrate, not him. If he calibrates, he's done, right? Then what else we do? Okay, so we tease me and Matt. I throw him softballs. Then we start teasing and including my girl, just having fun, getting her laughing. Then Matt can finally start. Once we get her laughing, it'd be weird for her not to laugh. She'd look like the odd man out. She'd look like she was being a bitch because everybody's having fun but her. Does that make sense? So then he can say stuff where he's like, God, I wish you would shut up. What is your deal? Like, because she hadn't been saying anything the whole time. And she's like, I'm just sitting here and like, whatever. God. So anyway, and he gets back to playing. But he's teasing her. Or he's like, you haven't said much. High five her. So what's going on? What's your name? Or whatever, you know. You finally, we start teasing. Then we turn all 3 of us, turn the teasing and fun at her, on her, including her. Because the whole group's doing it, she's going to be cool with it, right? Once she starts laughing and having a good time and Matt and her are breaking rapport, what I'm going to do is, let's see. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to grab my girl and not go immediately to my bedroom. That's the worst thing you can do. This girl will lock up. I move my girl to the kitchen. Come on, let's go get a beer. Or come here, I want to show you something. Come on, whatever. I isolate my girl because she already likes me, take her to the kitchen, and then what I do is I'm looking to see how this is going, right? If they're touching and they didn't even know we left, nice. And then what am I going to say to my girl? I'm going to say, listen, hey, I'm like, this is awesome, man. They're really hitting it off. Matt's like the pickiest guy I know. They're actually, this is awesome, dude. Let's leave them alone. Yeah, okay, let's go. To my bedroom. Now, the reason I say that is because I'm like, we should leave them alone, is because what happens when you get a girl in your bedroom and her friend's on the couch? Uncomfortable. Every time you get it going, LMR of, oh, I got to go check on my friend. I want to do this. I got to check on my friend. I don't want to feel like this. Oh my God, right? So I need to do that for me and Matt. Because when I do that, one thing, my girl calms down, and if this isn't going well, they're not having fun, we go sit back down. It's not on yet, right? I'll just keep doing this until I see that it's on. Or until he goes and isolates himself. Because if I don't, then he's going to get mad. His girl's going to be knocking on my door going, hey, listen, I think I'm going to get out of here. I'm really tired. Or let's go. One of the two. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see, I got like a few minutes. I'm going to see if there's anything really cool I can give you guys. Here's some traits of like what I think of with a lame college guy versus a cool college guy. Lame college guy, can I come? Can I come? Can I come? I'd like to come. He's a value leech. Value leech. He never brings any fucking girls, never has anything fun planned, never knows what's going on, always wants to know what's up, sits there, never has fun, ready to go home early, not having a good time. Or the guy that's really try hard. Polarities are bad in general, but especially in game. Polarities. He's either he's always the like, I want to be Tucker Max, man. I'm gonna be like, let me show you how fun I'm crazy. Watch me, I'm nuts. Let me do crazy shit, I'm nuts. Everybody watch how crazy I am. And he's just like, the friends are just like, fucking tool. But they don't want to tell him because they like him. But he just stands out like a dick. Or the other guy is the try-hard guy who tries to be everybody's friend too much. He's too nicey. Sure, man. Sure, cool, awesome. You can just push him around, right? Or he tries too hard for your rapport. So you're just like, what does this kid want? Or the guy that guilts people. He's like, hey, man, can I come? Oh, sorry, dude, we only have 2 tickets. Well, I mean, you can't get another one? Can't you? He guilts everybody, right? Don't be that fucking guy. Be able to, okay, you can't hear no. You say no, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? He's high maintenance as fuck. He gets his feelings hurt easy. Wants something for nothing. Always the one-upper. This is the worst fucking person. I can't stand people like this. You tell him something, and he's like, yeah, that's cool, but like when I did it, X. Oh, that's cool. Oh, you live there? Well, actually, this city's better. Oh, you're in that house? Well, my brother's actually in this house. Every fucking thing he says, he's trying, but you don't hate him because you know deep down he's insecure and he's just trying to relate, but all he's doing is crushing the vibe. You're just like, get him away from me, you know what I mean? You don't think he's cool, you're just annoyed. Then the other thing with this lame guy, he tries to be interesting all the time and doesn't try to be interested. People, the favorite word and everybody's favorite word is their own name, right? When you get interested in people, don't take that to the degree where you're like intrusive or you're needy, but like people try to be interesting instead of being interested. Balance it. You don't want to be so interested that you're seeking approval all the time or that you can't be proud of what you do, but you don't want to be like, I'm interesting. People will like me if I'm interesting enough. That's not why people like you, right? Okay, then the cool college guy. Always doing things, inviting people to random stuff all the time. All the time. It doesn't care who goes, he's doing it anyway, it'll be fun. He's going mountain biking, he's going rock climbing, he's playing intramural football, he's playing intramural basketball, he's fucking going to this weird concert, he's gonna go get drunk at some random house, he's got friends on all ends of the spectrum, right? And he's always got something fun going on, and he's inviting people just left and right, right? He's low maintenance as fuck. He has no problem saying no and hearing no. Hey man, you wanna go with us? No man, I can't, I got shit to do. That's cool, see you later man. Interested in people more than he tries to be interesting. He lets Buzz DHV him. He never tries to DHV himself. He lets Buzz DHV him. DHVs through actions and through Buzz, not through talking about things he does or things he has, right? Vibes with people through shared experiences, not through bragging or telling him how cool he is. And then he's cool leading and he's cool just going with the flow, all right? So you know what that means? Like he's cool being like, all right, I'm center of attention, I'm running the show, I'm doing this party. He's also cool laying back and going, yeah, I'll go for it. I'm totally cool with it being your show. I just want to go have fun. All right, guys, that's it for me. A couple things I want to talk about real quick. Some websites you can go to. I teach normal boot camps, like cold approach boot camps as well. They are really, getting good at cold approach will make your social circle college game so strong. Because the fuel for this monster is people. And if you can't meet people quick and fuel this thing, it doesn't get big. The better you are at cold approach, the faster this grows. And cold approach is a blast anyway. If you're, the social circle is fun, but you go to LA, you're starting all over. You go to Vegas for the weekend, you're starting all over, right? Lovesystems.com, that's our site. We do normal boot camps. I'm also launching an intergame boot camp, or an intergame one-day seminar in London, and I'll be doing that all over the place. And then I teach a social circle seminar that's 5 hours of this shit right here, but it's not tailored to college. It's tailored to, it's pretty general. I have a blog that I write crazy shit on and funny stories, and I try to put some good stuff on there. It's braddocksblog.com. BRADDOCKS blog.com. And I'm writing an ebook right now on phone and text game. And I'm not sure, that should be, in the next few months, I'm almost done with it, but we got to do some stuff. We got to change it and edit it and stuff. So let's see, we have a Love Systems routine manual, it's good. You can find all that stuff on the website. If you go to lovesystems.com, you can see that. Our boot camp schedule's down there. So that's it, guys. Thanks.